hostages in Gaza.
It is clear that this is a targeted act of violence, and the FBI is investigating
Why do you think they're doing this? Is it because people feel increasingly desperate? Because nothing they do changes the government's course? I think that's part of it, but like, we're in America, man. We're in the United States of America. What do you think? People are insane here. America is a uniquely violent country, and I think a lot of people just kind of forget how, again, uniquely violent of a nation this is. Like, there is a reason why the Palestinian movement, like, or Hamas, for example, has never had an instance of violence outside of the territory of historic Palestine. I talked about this when the embassy shooting happened, because they are laser focused on a singular goal of ensuring that the occupation ends. And in the process, do they personally engage in heinous acts of violence? Yeah, of course they have. It's ridiculous that that this kind of action is in any way, shape, or form associated with like the reasonable approach, like what the student movement has done. It's on the exact opposite end of the spectrum in terms of like productivity. It's not even like, this is violence for the sake of violence and nothing more. It's senseless violence. That's it. It is utterly directionless. Going to a pro-Israel rally or going to a like free the hostages rally and dropping Molotov cocktails on like 87-year-olds is psychotic, dude. It completely psychotic, completely unacceptable. Not only is it inhumane and insane, it's also entirely counterproductive. That's it. I don't even think this dude is like an anarchist or anything like that. He was like a 40, 50-year-old guy, dude. I think he's a person who is unimaginably frustrated and like lost his mind. I mean, you're talking about a dude who took a shirt off to like try to, use Molotov cocktails on a bunch of old people.
8 people between the ages of 52 and 88 injured. 2 airlifted to burn units. 1 in critical condition.
Yeah, from what I understand, he's an Egyptian national who overstayed his visa. Yes, and now they're gonna clamp down extra hard. Not only are they going to clamp down on, people like me, apparently Jonathan Greenblatt is trying to say that like I'm responsible for this again, which is so insane. It's so psychotic. The fuck are you doing, man? Again, yeah. Anytime any sort of like violence takes place against like a pro-Israeli rally or anyone out there, he just goes, oh, it's Hassan Piker's fault. Dude, what are you saying? What the kind of psychotic nonsense is this?
This video shows the suspect, according to an official briefed on the situation, holding what appears to be Molotov cocktails in front of a patch of burning grass, screaming at the crowd before being taken down by police.
He had 3 Molotov cocktails. One of them he threw inside of a group. At the group, and one lady lit on fire from head to toe.
There was a jug filled with the same stuff. I thought it was alcohol at first, but it smelled like gasoline. He was also taking this garden sprayer, basically, and spraying.
Every time a Palestinian is killed in the USA by some freak, do we now get to blame Greenblatt personally? Of course not. Like, of course not. He has literally gone on television and been like, oh, if you're wearing a keffiyeh, it's basically a swastika, right? He says that without any fucking just cause whatsoever. And yet, when people who are wearing keffiyehs get shot and paralyzed, like the shooter in Vermont that shot those 3 college students, obviously that's not Greenblatt's fault. You know what I mean? No one would ever say that, because there's an overwhelming amount of like, these things are not directional, okay? These things do not happen because of a singular person. Very rarely do these things happen because a person goes, oh, I got radicalized by this person and that's why I did it. It's a combination of systemic factors. Our social fabric is ripped apart at this point. Americans are insanely violent and insanely desensitized to violence. Part of that is because of all of the violence that we have subjected others to overseas, coming back around, all of the violence that American foreign policy creates for innocent individuals. America's basically like a PvP on Grand Theft Auto lobby. But no, when someone who is pro-Palestine is subjected to violence, I don't think it's Jonathan Greenblatt's fault either. Even though he does directly say things that would invoke a violent response that would urge people to take violent actions. It's also the same reason why I don't blame like Ethan Klein for, being detained by Customs and Border Patrol. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Authorities identifying 45-year-old Mohammed Sabri Solomon as the suspect apprehended on scene.
This has every single sign of being a hate crime. The perpetrator was waiting for people who were engaging in peaceful activity. It was a group of Jews from Boulder who were making a stand for freeing hostages who've been in prison since October 7th.
Well, we're learning that the suspect was in the United States illegally, according to an official at the Department of Homeland Security. The Boulder County Jail database says the suspect is being held on a $10 million bond, in addition to a list of charges this morning, including attempted murder as well as murder. Now, we should note, according to police at least, that there have been no fatalities reported in this attack, but we are expecting more detailed, more formal information on these charges.
Yeah. Also, one other aspect of these kinds of like vigilante and I don't even want to call this like vigilante justice, because there is not, like, it's just a literally random unstable person behaving in an incredibly violent way. You know what I mean? It's like attempted mass murder, basically. It's like beyond vigilantism. Once again, revenge is not justice. Okay, this is something that I need to be very clear about. But outside of that, this is so perfectly designed for, one, the media cycle to immediately laser in on this. The dude himself is both Egyptian, I think he's Muslim, and a undocumented migrant. It is so perfect for the Trump administration to basically kill as many fucking pro-Palestine people as possible by sending them over to see God and forgetting about them. You know what I mean? If there are members within mainstream media that look at the situation and think to themselves like what the repercussions might look like, they are not pushing for that at all. Like, they are not pushing for restraint. A similar thing happened already when this kind of random acts of violence was not taking place. As a matter of fact, hate crimes were taking place against people who were pro-Palestinian under the Biden administration, and they still actively kept repeating over and over again that peaceful non-violent protests on college campuses that were super buttoned up were all actually heinous anti-Semitic acts of violence, the violence that people were being subjected to. Right? They lied about that over and over again, and it gave a massive opening for Donald Trump to abuse and clamp down on as many student protesters as possible and start doing this insane immigration enforcement scheme. And now liberals are either quiet about it, supportive of it, like Deborah Lipstadt, Biden's anti-Semitism envoy. People like that are basically supportive of this kind of thing. And then there are some liberals who go, oh, maybe we're going a bridge too far here, lightly criticizing the Trump administration's actions. But when moments like this take place, when things like this happen, the media once again kicks into high gear and loses their mind on this. Like, oh, well, we have to be like, when you got liberal outlets turning around and basically saying like, we got to be more careful about who we let into the country. It's like, it's over. It's over. You are completely captive to the fascist administrative apparatus. You are doing their bidding. You are not thinking about liberalism, defending free speech, defending anything. You are allowing the Trump administration and the wave of hate that will come after this to take place. This is terrifying. Acts of violence such as this one are completely unacceptable. But the way to cover this is to single out this act of violence, say it's abhorrent, say it's unacceptable, instead of just like washing an entire movement with the same brush of violence to make it seem as though anyone that says free Palestine on a college campus is basically trying to light Jewish Holocaust survivors on fire that are 87 years old. Like, that's psychotic. What matters is what the administration is going to do in the aftermath of events like this. And I fear that they're going to actively suppress any kind of pro-Palestine speech. And the fact that the administration is basically saying like, we need to do what Israel is doing. Israel's doing a great job. We got to do exactly what they're doing should be terrifying for Americans. Okay. Israel has incredible censorship, even for the Israeli population. They have a military censor. They do not have free speech in Israel. America has free speech. So seeing so many of these like supposedly right-wing pro-free speech accounts unironically lap up whatever the the ADL is saying in an effort to get the government to go after people that they don't like, content creators that they don't like, simply because it's a position that I have taken is insane. Okay? Holy moly, this is terrifying. The U.S. ambassador to Israel would like to state for the record that journalists correctly reporting on well-documented Israeli massacres in Gaza are causing terrorist attacks. Reckless and irresponsible reporting by major U.S. news outlets are contributing to the anti-Semitic climate that has resulted in the murder of 2 young people at an Israeli embassy event in Washington last month. And